three ways you can attend a meeting, guys. You're either in the meeting, you're out the meeting, or you're hanging around, right? But at the end of the day, when are you going to get the most out of it? Participation, right? Participation is where you're going to get the most out of it. Now, I don't believe in homework. You're probably wondering why. Everything happens within the workshop. We leave no men or women behind not getting the transformation. So if you're showing up, you got your camera on, and we're in here, no man, no women left behind. Does that make sense? Right? That's the rule, right? Because look, it's not about the stinking $27 or $37, whatever you paid, right? I don't really care about that. What I care is that you took time away. Now, how many? Just show hands. Who has children, a husband, a family, or something? Okay. How many of y'all would rather be with them than here? So when you take the time to come here, my thing is get the most out of it. Because you see, when I take the time away from my wife, we're empty nesters, right? But when I take the time away from my wife and I don't come back with her with good news, like, okay, we had X amount of people come on, this is a transformation they got. If she don't like what she hear, the next question she's gonna ask is why you do it. We could be on the beach sipping on the Mai Tai, you know?
Mhm.
So that's the thing though. How long will your significant other keep letting you sacrifice time and you're not coming back with results?
Mm.
That's very critical because I've been there. I've done that, right? And I think the biggest thing that I've learned, y'all know who the goat is, right? Everybody know who the goat is, right?
Michelle,
Mhm.
Donald,
Michelle?
My
Greatest of
goat.
all time.
I don't care who
Myers.
says what. My goat is Michelle. Okay, because at the end of the day, if it wasn't for Michelle, none of us would be where we are today. Has she not watched that one video that gave her hope? None of this would be here today. I'd still be selling information. Because my biggest takeaway from Michelle was the difference between information and transformation. I've built multiple communities with information. Okay. This is before the chat GPT days, right? But we still had Google, right? We still had Google for a long time. Everybody said, Google this, Google that, Google this. Now it's go chat GPT it. So it's another level. But the one thing that AI cannot do is transformation. The other thing that AI cannot do is duplicate your community. Why? Celine is Celine. Kim is Kim. Rich is Rich. And you each all have your own identity in your own community in terms of what your passion is and who you serve. Does that make sense?
Mhm.
Right? So this is very important you understand that, right? So first, before we get started, I'd like to recognize um, Celine earned her money back. So, and guess what? She also earned the resale rights where when this workshop is over, I will be handing over the key to her. She'll be able to continue get the residuals as an streaming income in her community. 100%. So this is what we do at PPP, right? We want to make sure that it's a win-win situation. You see, because everything I do long term. I don't believe in short term. I don't believe in one night stands. I believe in long term relationship. You see? So I'm gonna really go ahead and dig in. I think almost, yeah, I think. How many of you know what community or organization, right, get 100% conversion?
Hmm.
You guys know anybody like that?
Mm-mm.
We have 100% conversion to VIP.
Hmm.
I don't have a single person that just registered for the general session. Not one. Is that pretty good? How would you like to learn how to do that?
Whoa.
That'll be another workshop for another day. But I just want you to know this is the kind of track record we're building. You see? And it's the only thing I've learned from Michelle. Most of you guys know me. My track record is implementation. You don't just get information, you got to implement, right? You got to experience it. One of my favorite word from Michelle is we test everything. How many times y'all heard that? Right? You test everything, right? You got to know what works and you got to know what doesn't work, right? So I'm going to give you guys a brief synopsis. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. I'm not going to go too long on the general session because I want to really dig into the VIP since everybody here is VIP. Let me go ahead and get my share settings right. All right. We got my share settings right. Awesome. All right. Can y'all see my screen?
Yep.
Awesome. And by the way, guys, if you don't know, Brahim is my business partner. Brahim and I go way back. He actually was in DGC before I was, right? So shame on him. He never talked to me about it, but that's okay.
Yeah. Crazy.
Sorry, bro. I had to put that out there. Just kidding.
Sorry, not sorry.
But I love him like a brother. He actually lives 15 minutes away from me. And there's a long story short. It took us a year and almost 2 years before we actually met in person. And we
Yep.
live 15 minutes from each other. Can you imagine that?
And we met in person in Vegas.
Yep, we met in person in Vegas. Jacksonville wasn't close enough.
It's a long way around, huh?
So it's pretty awesome. So, can you guys see my screen okay?
Yes.
Yep.
Yes.
Yep.
All right. So I'm gonna go some basic stuff real quick in case you guys need to find things around, right? So when you log in, for right now, don't even bother with the VIP link. Just log in regularly. The domain name is Kim, Kim, S like Sam, and then zoom.com. I make it very hard, you know? So Kim S zoom.com. You can also come here when you go here to the classroom, right? You can log in right here. So when you see clarity right here, okay, in case you didn't write it down, it's okay. When you come down here and you go to clarity execution pathway, you'll be able to log in right here. So when you come here, it's going to take you to the general session. And all you got to do is log in here and that will take you right in. Okay. So like right now, it's trying to take me in, but we're going to kill it. Very simple. I try to keep things very simple, right? And this time we ran everything through Skool. So this is kind of a test to see the simplicity. And then we're going to get a lot of feedback from people to see if they prefer to do the funnel or if they prefer to do the Skool community, right? Most of you guys know. If not, you know now. We already planned out 18 workshops this year. Okay. I'm already working on 2027, and I'm working with people like Tim Hess because we're already planning out 2027. Okay. And that's for you guys who are new to this. This is how business people work. Anybody can guess what is the physical month of the year for business?
The fiscal month?
Physical month. When they call it the fiscal year.
June, I believe.
What's that?
June or July.
It's
Some is
July.
September 30.
July. So that's why you see most companies out there, they do their convention in the neighborhood of June and July. They usually celebrate, and they're already talking about the following year. They don't wait until December. Does that make sense, guys?
Mhm.
You see, because if you know anything about business tax, they're due in October. Personal tax, they're due in April. But business tax is due in October. And y'all gonna hear more about that from one of the most qualified people, which is our next guest speaker. Okay. But I want you guys to understand. How many of you guys have watched this video right here?
Don't think so.
So this is the video that tells you exactly what you get in VIP. Does that make sense?
Okay.
This is why the people who come here, this is where they get the transformation. You see, the way I do general session is it's just a 30,000 foot view. And I guess in today's day and age conversation, it would be like a teaser. You guys familiar with a teaser?
Yeah.
Right? So basically, we'll give them like the topics of what we're going to cover inside the VIP. But for me personally, I've always got the transformation in VIP, even in Michelle's workshops. Do you guys know the difference between a person who does get the transformation and a person who doesn't get the transformation in any of Michelle's workshop? Yeah, anybody know the difference? I said the word once. It starts with an I.
Implementation.
That's
Implementation.
right. Leave it to the engineer. That's right. Implementation. Let me tell you what kills me. Okay. It's about 10% of the people who attend that actually get the transformation. And that's about industry average. Did you guys realize that? 10%. That means 90% either didn't pay attention or was distracted by something else. But if you go look inside of the feed, like I give you an example. 90-day run. Anybody heard of the 90-day challenge?
Yep.
If you go look at the response in Michelle's post, it's not even 10% of the community. How many of you guys agree?
Yep.
I'm just giving you facts, guys. Okay? Now, here's what I want to cover with you so you can understand our community a little bit more before we go into the VIP and the transformation. Okay? Our community is designed to do 6 things. Okay? Number 1, help you understand what prepared batch content is. Right? The only way you're going to buy back your time is to learn how to batch content. You can't buy back your time if you're creating content daily for the next day. You guys agree?
Right.
Yep.
Right? The second thing you got to do is you got to learn to choose what strategy you're going to use to create your 7 to 10 video series. If you're creating video just to create video and you can't tell a story through episodes, how many of you guys are familiar with episodes?
Mm-hmm.
Right? So what Michelle teaches 7 to 10 episodes. Why 7 to 10 episodes? Because it's going to generate data. If you do it right, it's going to generate data. And you have to make decision based on data. So you got to learn how to track data. Okay? I wasn't really a data person until I met Michelle.
Mhm.
But I knew my numbers. My numbers were, what do I need to do to get X amount of customers?
Right.
But I never really test what works and what doesn't work. Does that make sense? Okay? The one thing I knew how to do well before coming to DGC is how to filter my audience. And I used to do that through surveys. Anybody remember surveys?
Yep.
You couldn't get to me on my calendar without filling out at least one survey. And if you didn't take the time to fill out my survey, your appointment gets deleted. Because you didn't earn my hour that I'm giving to you. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Mhm.
Right? You know? So once you choose your strategy, because there's more than one strategy. Michelle teaches much more than one strategy, but you got to see which strategy is comfortable to you. Everybody here is different, right? Everybody's different. Some of you here were like me, no tech at all, except I don't consider Canva tech, okay? But that's all I knew was Canva before I came to DGC, okay? And then some of you are like tech gurus. But you know what? Tech guru without a message, is that any good?
Nope.
Nope.
No. Or if you have a message and you have no tech, is that good? Yeah.
Hard.
Yeah. Because you can pay other people to do the tech for you.
Yep.
So the key at the end of the day is your message. Does that make sense?
Mhm.
Right? Your key is your story, your message. You know, I can't be grateful enough to be able to work with Tim. And then in the past, I worked with Daryl. I still work with Daryl. And I used to also work with Amy. Most of you guys know all those three people, right? And guess what? That's what got me to where we are today. You see, the only time that I work directly with Michelle is through groups.
Right.
Does that make sense to you guys? Right?
Yeah.
But then why is it that Kim can get any questions answered? It's because of how I show up. Does that make sense?
Right.
Yeah.
The key is not showing up, it's how you show up. Okay? And then you got to decide how you want to edit your videos once you record them. You see? Then you got to choose the platform that you want to send your videos to. Most of you guys know for me, my platform is YouTube. But I don't eliminate the other platforms, but I use Repurpose IO to build all the other platforms. And Repurpose IO has been an amazing tool for me because all the channels are growing, even though I'm not there. I just got to make sure because sometimes I like to post more than what I wanted to post, right? So I just got to go in there and monitor to make sure that I delete the videos that I don't wanted to post. Does that make sense?
Mhm.
But for me, it's easier to delete than to do the work.
Right.
Delete is one click. So then you want to choose the tools that you're going to use, right? There's so many choices. But for me, I believe in simplicity. Why simplicity? Time. Time, guys. Time is everything. Okay? For me, time is not really money, but time is quality. The quality time you spend with your loved ones.
Yep.
Does that make sense?
Yep.
Mhm.
Yes,
know?
it does.
And last but not the least, how to post properly. Does it matter on whatever platform? Yes. Every platform has its own checklist on how to post properly. Right? So this is very important framework. And this is what we do. You see, on the technicality side, on the framework side. Why? The number one reason why someone would come to our community is because they're not landing the way they want to land. How many of y'all feel that way?
Yep.
Right? Your message is not landing the way you want it to land. Right? But then again, there's always room for improvement on your message. And then over the course, you might change your message. Like, I remember first coming in to the bigger community, the message was what? 4 products, correct? Just 4 products, build your list, and you're good to go. Automation. Then the message changed a little bit. How do you reach out to more people than just kind of doing direct sales? And the only way you can do that is by owning a community. Does that make sense?
Mhm.
So over time, things might evolve. You got to learn how to pivot. And that's what makes you either 1% better every day or not 1% better every day. Now, most of you probably think you get 1% better every day, you're getting 365% better at the end of the year. How many of you guys agree with that math?
If you're compounding, it should be more.
Absolutely.
Let me tell you, the first time I ever learned this is from a guy named Jim. Anybody know Jim?
Yep.
Yep.
You get, and today I still can't figure out the math. But what he said was, you get 1% better every day, you just got 1,000% better in a year. But I ain't figured out the math yet.
Take one times 2%.
But I have a good excuse for you guys. Most of you guys know me as the only Asian guy that failed math, right? So I can live behind that statement. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Yeah.
How many of you here can say you're still in communication with your very first customer?
Great question.
Celine, that's awesome. Pam,
Say that one more time, Kim.
how many of you can believe or can say I'm still in communication with my very first legacy customer?
Legacy.
I can say that.
Okay. You said it different. You said with your first customer. So I was
No,
thinking like
legacy
40.
customer. Legacy,
Okay.
legacy.
Okay.
Yeah, I can say that.
Hey, if I told you my first customer is on this Zoom,
Wow.
you wanna claim that spot, Mom?
No, she doesn't, but she was.
Cynthia McKelvey that you see on the screen, who's my first legacy customer.
Wow.
And she's probably also the wisest on this call. It used to be another gentleman, but he's battling health issues, so he's no longer with us. So y'all keep him in your prayers. But do you guys understand how the framework works here at PPP?
Mhm.
You see? So this is pretty much the basics of the general session. But what I want to share with you guys, going into the VIP, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to hit stop record. Do you guys need to get some water or anything like that? You guys good?
I need a water.
All right. We'll take a 2-minute break. And I'm going to switch over to VIP here. I'm going to just stop the recording so that it's not too long. Okay?